Hey, how, hey, hey, how's it going? Whoa, what is happening with my hair? I just went and looked at it. You don't want to see the back of it. Anyway, I am going to read you some cards. But I would like you to look at my signs first, if you would. So, okay, I can't. I can't with my hair. Hold on a second. See, you got to see maybe a look at the back of this rat's nest. I have not, but boy, it doesn't feel, let's just say it doesn't feel untangled. I just woke up from a nap. Ah, ow. I'm lying. I've been up long enough to watch a closer look clip of Seth Meyers on YouTube and some other dang thing. Something about politicians crying about stuff. I don't know. I'm like losing interest in that because it's not changing, you know. There's I know a lot of people are saying this, and I'm just gonna say right here for the world to hear that it's silly that some of them are like, we gotta do the nation's business. That's not the silly part. The silly part is saying that when you have these people whose aim seems to be the not completion of those duties. And I mean, it's a perfectly fine thing to say, except for it just doesn't seem like reality anymore. It doesn't seem like that's going to be allowed to happen. I don't think that's a forever thing, but okay. That's reasonable, I guess. So I don't follicle focus on what the heck my hair is doing. So I pulled, I ended up pulling two cards from this here, Stop Having Reflections, Shaman's Dream Oracle deck. And I had pulled this one and picked up the deck to put it away. I was just kind of shuffling a little bit. And then another card came out with some force, which hasn't happened in a little while. So I feel like it was really wanting to come out and say stuff, but it was, oh, well, I didn't even tell you about the first card, did I? No, I did not. So the first card I pulled, I put it with the wrong notes too, or the wrong page from its guidebook. Number 28, Hollow Bone. You gotta look at that. It's got some pretty shamany iconography. Whatever, that works. You know what I'm trying to say. Iconography. I can't even think of the way it's really said, or the way that I'm used to hearing it, where it sounds normal and not iconography, but that. And the subtitle is Teachability. I'm gonna have to teach myself how to say that word right again. I can't even get it right in my head. It's just like not wanting to. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong about the right way. Anyway, so I was about to put them away in the cards after I'd pulled the Hollow Bone card. And I don't know, this card flew out and I was like, okay, I guess I'll take that one. But it was number 11, Deep Quiet. And the subtitle is Meditation and Stillness. But if you look at this picture, there's a person there in the background that's sort of a purple. Oh, no, it's only purple through the camera. Everything's like sort of orange and reddish-y. Reddy, R-E-D--E-Y. Yeah. Yeah, there it goes, looking all purple. See, everything purple there on the camera, at least that I'm seeing, is with the naked eye more orangey or golden-ish. It's like a fire situation going on, because the bright spot here, whoa, don't want that, right here, is very white, as you can see. It's so interesting the way the camera views it and just completely changes the color. But this is like a bright fire flare. Like it's very bright white, yellowish, like more like a fire than a fire under a black light, which is what this looks like. A black light, man. I'm old enough to remember the black light and black light posters and groovy, man. And then I pulled another card, a third card from the Wild Unknown Spirit Guide or Spirit Animal deck, and it was Scorpion, another fire sign. And so I you know, the way I like to do my day is to pull the cards early, which I didn't actually pull them so early today. They actually got pulled almost afternoon. Just didn't work out that I had the time, because I had to go to a doctor's appointment, which means a lot of rushing around, and I didn't used to be this way, but it seems like now I get ready at the last moment. If you call getting ready 45 minutes ahead of time the last moment, everything just takes longer when you have to deal with the wheelchair situation and the obstacle course in the bathroom. So, but anyway, that really is little to do with what I'm wanting to say about choosing the cards earlier. But yes, I did choose Scorpion, and so by the grace of fill in the blank, I still have internet, I still have phone service with the capability to do this on, which I'm really grateful for, because I would appreciate having the landline. It's a good thing. Yes, I have one of those, but can't make a video on that landline. Like, just not gonna happen. In fact, this phone is probably 20 generations of cordless phone old and like obsolete technology, but it works for your basic landline services. Why am I talking about that? Anyway, I also, it's just been a rough month, you know, like I don't have my streamers, so I couldn't really do my Spirit TV critic stuff, but kind of haven't been doing that anyway, because my camera situation has been so unusual. They have to keep switching from cameras and devices, and I'm now down to just this one. So part of what I would do a lot on a normal day, with everything paid and all of my stuff showing up, was watch a lot of movies and television and do my Spirit TV critic thing with them. But I really slowed down on it. And then I also, like, this has been requiring taking, it makes it sound like I'm not wanting to give up time to do this, because what I was going to say is this is requiring more of my time and attention. That's not a bad thing. I'm not complaining. I like doing this. I'm having fun doing this. So other things, other creative endeavors are sort of getting the slack time right now, but only in the sense that I'm not actively doing them. I have not actively stopped contemplating and thinking about these things, because I know my situation that to me feels very unsteady and like I'm rattled because I'm used to everything being handled. Like, that was my deal, like get all of my responsibilities out of the way first, and I was prevented from doing that by the unfortunate freezing situation of the accounts, and it's just a mess. But silver lining, hi, still here. So watching landscape pretty bleak and the whole day going by, like I have stuff to read. Do you think I feel like reading anything? I do not really. So I haven't been doing that as much. Been writing more, been meditating more, so those are good things. Better to be creative than to just sit around and be like not. And everything that goes along with that for me, which is like, oh my God, I'm not like making a thing. I feel empty. To encapsulate that feeling. So I swear I'm going to get to the rest of that sentence right now. Looking around for something interesting, and I have options. I mean, I don't have the Tubi app uploaded to my phone, but I will, because I was certainly using it on my television. I'm not in a wasteland. Like, YouTube has free stuff, which I've been taking advantage of. And two things I had actually been looking for a while were just on there, so that's not bad. Like Dogma, I had wanted to rewatch, and good luck finding it on any other platform. I had no idea to look in YouTube free movies, and there it was. Well, actually, that's not where it was, but it was on YouTube. And then another one I had wanted to see for a long time was the sci-fi motion picture Sunshine with Cillian Murphy, and it also has what the hell is America Man? America Man, Captain America, Chris Evans, America Man. Isn't that Trump? Isn't he America Man? And that's a laugh, because he doesn't like America. He likes America to its face, but behind its back he talks a lot of shit about her. It's not cool, man. So I forgot though that I have the Freevee app, which you can see stuff from Amazon and IMDb on there, which is amazing. And I had been thinking about this just yesterday, and this being the Bosch Legacy show, which is the show that continues the story of Bosch and his daughter, that's no longer on the regular Amazon platform. Still good. I mean, Cody Johnston, one of the hosts of Some More News, who I just love to pieces. Like, he and that staff over there, I so look forward to on Wednesdays when they're on the Wednesday, because they're a little bit all over the place since they've, I don't know, I guess picked up more sponsorship. But anyway, he makes a joke often about, he'll just like start saying Bosch as if he's advertising it, and he's not, I don't think. I mean, that's all he says about Amazon or Amazon Prime. He'll just be all Bosch, and then it's like he doesn't like it. And I have to say, Mr. Cody, I do take a little bit of offense at that, because it came from a really good book series. Like, read a book, man. Like, I'm just kidding. I'm sure he reads lots of books. He certainly sounds like he does, or has read some. I think he's read a couple. But don't talk shit about Bosch, man. It's Titus Welliver, and he's cool. And I am 100% serious, even though I didn't maybe look or sound it. I am a huge Titus Welliver fan. Get off him, man. And also, Bosch series, it's a darn good story narrative thingamabob, so shut up, Cody. I love you. Anyway, I'm getting there. On Bosch, I think the whole season like came and went, so I'm able to just watch it. You know, I could just binge the whole thing. I think I stopped on episode 4, and it's actually, I think, the first episode of season 2 that I started looking at. That well, the daughter of Harry Bosch, Maddie, ends up, not by her own acts, but ends up in a really compromised situation. And I had pulled this card earlier, and you know, when I pull them, I look at them to see if there's an impression or anything. Like, I just give them a look. And this one, for some reason, like, I knew I was going to pull an animal card. I didn't know which one I was going to pull. And this one came out, and I thought, what is Scorpion about me today? And then I just set it down. And then probably about 6 hours later, I started watching Bosch Legacy on Freevee. And, well, let's just say in that the lady disappears, I believe is the title of the episode. Let me make a note to check that. And title of Scorpion up. Bosch Legacy. Hey, if I could write faster, I guess I would. Okay. So, there a scorpion appeared, and it wasn't so scorpion me thing, but it was definitely a scorpion me adjacent thing. A scorpion factors into that episode. There's the importance there. I don't know, what is the word? I don't know, the gimmick. It's not quite the one I was looking for, but I'll take it. So, as I said, iconography. I think that's close to the way I meant to be saying it. I meant to be saying it earlier. Well, I'm talking more and more like a caveman lately, and I'm wondering, is it some kind of neurological disorder? I don't know. Anyway, so like I said, this is pretty shamanish looking to me. There's all of these sort of charm / totem things that I associate with the Native American iconography of shamanism. Although, if you look throughout the world, other places where you could find a shaman other than America, like I think Eastern Europe and Asia, South America, there's, shamans all over the world. They might be called a different thing in other places, a different title, but still the same people doing that sort of mystical earthwork where you have that grounded connection to earth and animals and plants and just the spirit of the earth generally, which includes us, even though we've done everything we could to sort of take that away from our lives with all of our mod cons. Like, we think we're doing ourselves some favors, and there are conveniences, this is true, but man, when the power goes out and we don't remember some basic stuff, we're freaking out. Like, oh my God, I have too many hours of the day with nothing to fill it with that we're used to having, like our streamers and our internet. And it's true, I'm like definitely experiencing a little bit of dependency symptoms for what I'm missing. But like I said, I can find plenty to look at and watch. But what I've been doing instead is meditating or writing or just playing with my cat, going outside, talking to my neighbors, like going out of my way to just go do things I don't normally do because my face is stuck in front of a screen. And I think it's pretty well the consensus now that for a number of reasons, spending our time with our faces stuffed into screens is not the best use of our time, nor is it that healthy for our minds, and that's going to affect our hearts and presumably our souls too, because when we lose these things that we've gotten so used to, be it the service itself or the ability to connect with someone that you possibly are wanting to connect with, and maybe the connection isn't there, or it isn't there for long, or it doesn't happen, which could lead to a whole other set of feelings that could be not great. I think trying to say three things at one time. I think the saving grace for me, when I feel myself trying to go a little crazy with the loss of these things that I've become used to, I have to remind myself that there was a time where none of this stuff existed. Like all of this stuff that you're developing this emotional attachment to didn't used to exist or be a thing. Do you understand what I'm saying? Life happened just fine without it. Hey, yes, there are conveniences. Yes, I don't have to turn around and pick up the dictionary and turn the pages to find a definition. Now I can just boop, 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 and the cat just opened the door and let all the freezing in. Hold on, I gotta go close that. I'll be right back. Okay, so yeah. So rather than allowing myself to freak out about the loss of these things that I need so much, I just have found other ways I've just diverted my attention to other things. And that is good. It is very good to turn the things off, the electric devices, and, you know, by association, the programming, right? Because I don't know about you, I'm doing my best to unplug from programming, if at all possible. And I think that's a good thing. So I am now going to read about what the card says about the hollow bone card. And did I say the subtitle? I don't know if I did. It's teachability. So hollow bone number 28. 2 and 8 is 10, and 10 is 1 and 0, and 0 is not really anything in this calculation. So you're left with 1. Master number. I like 1s. They keep turning up in different permutations. Anyway, hollow bone. Teachability, humility, being empty so that the wind of spirit can breathe through you. Well, if a bunch of that electrical interference is no longer there, I would think that that makes a easier pathway for the wind to make its way around, through, over and under, and so on. The hollow wing bone of an eagle is a flute for the shaman. Okay, it looks more like a clarinet to me, and also a pipe, but I'm not the artist. I don't have the intention of that image coming into being. The appearance of the hollow bone invites you to become empty of your notions of who you are, which is not all of the electric programming, by the way, because remember, that wasn't always there, like I was saying. To check your ego at the door and to know that this is not about you. You know, that is a total service-oriented mindset. Like, I have what I need, although I don't have all of what I want at the moment. I have what I need, and that gets you through the day and the night and everything else. Like, we get attached to these things that are sort of ephemeral and can go away, you know, under the right, not great circumstances. Ooh, that's a tangle of misnomer, sort of. But under the circumstances that could bring the situation to be. Anyway, let me just go on. I'm just making it more confusing. Relinquish your need to be right and to express an opinion. So hard. As this will not change anything right now. You are being called to practice humility. I mean, I cannot disagree with that in my own circumstances. That has been the correct answer for a lot of things. Like, just shut up, swallow it, bite your tongue, allow everybody else to proceed. Hollow yourself out and hear the wind blow through you and play like a flute. Oh, play you like a flute. You will learn the language of the squall and the storm and understand the message in the summer breeze. There's an important communication waiting for you. Humility is the swiftest path for you to become like hollow bone. Drop all notions and titles that bolster your ego. Eliminate the doer and allow things to happen of their own accord. Remember that you can accomplish most anything if you are willing to let someone else take credit for it. Hollowbone has come to caution you to believe only 50% of what others think and only 10% of what you think. Trust your experience, not what you have read in sacred books or holy texts. This will allow you to turn apparent danger into opportunity. Well, it is all about perspective. Remember that you are an insignificant grain of sand in the grand scheme of life, and as important as the brightest sun. So nothing and everything all at once. And as to the second card I pulled, hold on, I'm feeling like I need to see what he's doing. My cat, that's who he is. Sorry for the dead air. I promise I should have paused it. I'll be back. There he is. Hi, I'm back. I found him. He's sitting in the bathroom in the dark with a light from outside, like, showing his face. He looks like a lemur with his huge eyes. Okay, back to the cards. So the second card I pulled was number 11. More ones. Deep Quiet. And the subtitle, Meditation and Stillness. So before I got all sidetracked by the colors here, I wanted to point out that this being here with some kind of thing, activity happening in their head, the intention, I believe, is floating through their body and up through their hand, where some sort of other activity and energy, flare of energy, that's what I'm seeing, and then like sort of smoke, or I don't know what type of trails energy balls leave, but I feel like in the deep quiet of contemplation, this is a thought conjuring up the thought from the realm of thought into being somehow. So like a manifestation spell, I guess, is what I feel like is happening here. Because in the deep quiet, hey, come on now. Once you've hollowed yourself out from all of the programming and all of the things being introduced from outside that are interfering with the underlying always their ability to think clearly. Somebody came to a conclusion there in the deep quiet and the clear thinking, and is manifesting some sort of reality for themselves out of that contemplation. So I'll read from the guidebook about the deep quiet card. Meditation, stillness, clarity. When the deep quiet appears, it is a message from the cosmos calling you to stillness, to step outside the concerns. I thought it was going to be a different con word. Outside of the concerns. I don't know why I thought concrete would be there. I don't know. I mean, I have some thoughts, but let me make a note of it. I'm all mad because it's interrupting my flow. It's not, though. It's part of it. So, outside of the concerns of your everyday life. Let me read that again. When deep quiet appears, it is a message from the cosmos calling you to stillness, to step outside the concerns of your everyday life, to stop outside the concrete of your everyday life. These fumbles have meaning somewhere. Everything happens for a reason is a real thing. It's infuriating, and it took almost my whole life for it to make some kind of sense, but it's a true thing. I have learned in my experience. This does not mean to slow down and take a breath, although that's a good start. The cosmos is inviting you to go deep, to that place where the noise stops and there's only the vast emptiness of inner space. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say I have 100% that situation, because if I had, I would not be able to be here talking to you, and I really would be contemplating things without any interference, electronically or program-wise, that travels on the electronics of this device I am using here. 1 second. Oh my God, that's like the best water ever for some reason. Moving on. When we don't respond to the invitation offered by deep quiet, life can mop us. Oh, wow! I'm getting a lot of stuff coming out that's not. I'm like looking at the words and other ones are coming out, which doesn't not mean something. When we don't respond to the invitation offered by deep quiet, life can stop us in our tracks with an illness or a crisis. Like your bank account getting frozen. For example, listen to the still small voice. Remember that you want to catch spirit on a whisper, not a shout. And it is only human to argue that you are too busy to slow down, that you don't have the time, the inclination, or the money for a retreat. Do not limit yourself this way. Do not let any of these reasons get the better of you. Stop the world and enter deep quiet before you come to a crashing halt. Well, boy, that says loud and clear to me. Get your affairs in order before they make your life fall apart. And I could say that applies to me, except nothing. I guess like the circumstances of my issue have everything to do. Well, I don't guess I fully know. They had everything to do with my account being frozen, although only in the sense that had I not been taking part in activities that I did not know were compromising me, it wouldn't have happened in the first place. So I feel like that wasn't one I could really get in front of, at least not in time, because I just wasn't aware of underlying unseen circumstances. After you have said yes to this invitation, you'll find that the world can get along quite well without the need for you to manage it. I'm sure that's true. You will enjoy the freedom that comes with stillness, the clarity and spaciousness offered by the silence. I 100% agree with that, because it's like a thing of meditating where for it to work, you need to be able to get your brain to shut off. Or it's interesting because the instruction is when you're trying to, especially as a beginner, meditate, you have to learn the process of kind of shutting off your mind. Or I don't even know if that's the right term, because what you need to do is not shut things off exactly, but shut off your reaction to it. And so it's kind of like if you have someone, like say a kid that keeps asking, like you're another kid too, but they're like pestering you, they're bothering you, they want you to do something, they want to get a rise out of you, they want to like maybe bully you, and that way get a reaction from you. And even though the method might be bullying, it might not be their intent. The intent might just be to get the rise out of you. But in order for that to not bother you or affect you, you have to be able to just like let it flow over you and past you as if it doesn't matter. And the person trying to pester you, or the bully, whatever their motivation, will eventually get tired and go away when they see they're not getting a reaction out of you and you are like not interested, whatever it takes. That's one situation that's sort of, I feel like, analogous to dealing with thoughts that are trying to catch your attention when you're trying to not have attention to those things. And I have found that at some point you do cross that Rubicon from everything being seen and heard and affecting you while you're not wanting them to getting to that place where you can just let the things go by and acknowledge that things are going by, but letting them go so that you can stay in your place and center yourself and gain that clarity when you stop having all of the stuff affecting your attention, trying to grab it. It's a skill that you have to develop. I mean, I did, and I think it's true of other people, since the description I just gave is all over about meditation. So, and then once you reach that place, you know, for myself, I'm not even really sure what happens. I know there's a process where I feel like I have gone someplace else. I feel like that place allows me to process my thoughts in a different way than with the normal attention, which is, I just had a vision of like being at like a sporting event with a bunch of screaming, reacting people around me when I'm like the only one in the stadium trying to read a book. That's kind of how life is. So I just started talking about all of that, and I have no idea anymore where I started from or what I was talking about. Let's go to the other card then, the Scorpion card, and see what it has to say after all of that other saying that I've done. So this picture, I'm not sure why the artist chose this one, where it's always the scorpion sort of reacting to some kind of outer stimuli that made it feel like it needed to attack what looks like some place on someone's body, some area of exposed skin, where this scorpion, which are not all fatal if they sting you, but you certainly notice, you certainly have that redness and irritation stay with you for a while. And things always happen for a reason. So let's see why the scorpion is stinging. It's more about the scorpion's spirit or personality here. Scorpion, passionate, competitive, tends toward isolation. Some scorpion fable is coming to mind about why the scorpion has to go off by itself. And, well, why is it leading to this weird chain? And then the next thought that got attached to that was like a spirit, what do you call when you go off by yourself in the native tradition? Oh, there was a Madonna movie with the title. Some kind of spirit journey. It's like a rite of passage for the young men. They don't have the women do it, which I think is interesting because the women are there going through the stuff with the men. Like maybe they're not out on the hunt with them, but they're there in their lives doing everything else. So what, they don't have spirit stuff going on? Another time for all of that. The scorpion is a passionate and determined creature. Their career is very important to them, as are a few select friends sometimes. As are a few select friends, period. Sometimes the scorpion's heat festers, and they focus on an unresolved event from the past, usually a situation where they were left feeling burned. Okay, so that's interesting. When you are like brewing up sort of the feelings that the book was just talking about, where the scorpion's heat festers and you're focusing on this unresolved event from the past, so that seems to be, just for the purposes of this reading, where this scorpion is at. Like, I was wondering why it was stinging. Well, it was stinging because the person here, I think, is representing for the scorpion the triggering action, like whatever it was that got said or done to agitate the already agitated scorpion, because it was thinking about past stuff that was unresolved. And why is it unresolved? Not because of the other person. That, like, it's a past thing. Whatever it was already happened, but the scorpion is still dwelling on it. And it's got triggered enough to sting someone because someone said something that aggravated how they were already feeling, which was aggravated. But you know, this scorpion, which just like in the show was a black scorpion, it's unfortunate because my thought, even though it was like a really scary scene where the scorpion appeared, and I don't know that I would not have reacted the same way, even though I'm going to say this, the scorpion probably just doing his regular scorpion career, wandering around in the desert, found this dark place and was curious and went down there. There's smells. She had a bottle of water down there. Scorpion could have been attracted to that. And then the scorpion was on the neck of the person that was trapped in this place. And my thought was, and at the time I even said I probably wouldn't be able to do this, but the scorpion may have just been looking for a warm place to sit, and her exposed skin, like a snake. I don't know if you fall asleep like in the desert and it starts to cool off, and the reptiles like warmth. So if you are a body of warmth, the scorpion or the snake, well, both might snuggle up to you and mean you no harm. And what ended up happening was the person trapped with the scorpion lashed out and smashed the crap out of the thing. But I'm just saying, It's black. You can't really tell what's going on with it. You can't see inside of it. As a human, you're not even maybe gonna try to sense what's going on inside the scorpion, or even recognize it as a symbol for your black feeling inside. That you could just be having a regular day. Now, you're not a scorpion, but you're having the scorpion spirit, and some event or person comes along and triggers something that you're harboring in yourself that's just below the surface. No one else can see it or know about it but you. And God help the person that comes along and says hi, and then the wrong thing right after, not meaning anything at all, and gets an unfortunate reaction, sort of a lashing out. I'm going to say almost involuntarily by the scorpion, because presumably the person scorpion knows that whatever's bugging you, not a bug, but could fit under the category, whatever's bugging you right below the surface that no one else can see until you let it out, is right there, just sort of like the ripest fruit or a balloon where a quick pinprick can blow up that situation, pop the balloon, cause a little irritation mark like that, and share the wealth of the underlying unresolved issue. But to bring it back to that, the unresolved issue from the past that you're still hanging on to, the reason why it's unresolved is because you haven't resolved it. So you're irritable about it, you're sensitive, maybe there's some embarrassment involved or something that's holding you back from resolving that issue, but it does come back to you, unless you want to get smashed to death suddenly because you did the instinctive thing. Maybe it's better to sort of gain control over those instincts and not lash out. I mean, as a human, you could wind up with assault charges or something for behaving that way. So, oh wow, this is getting super long. I'm going to wrap up here. When in balance, wild and free, fierce. When out of balance, jealous, resentful, unresolved. This is a scorpion spirit personality we're talking about here, not necessarily the actual animal. To bring into balance, honesty, forgiveness. So that bringing into balance bit, had the person trapped with the scorpion in the show not done their instinctive thing and lash out and smash the thing, because it hadn't actually done anything to her. It was just this primordial fear that we have of things much smaller than us that can give us a little blemish and an irritant, and we're like hundreds of weights over by many magnitudes heavier than this little being, which makes me think the unresolved thought was maybe as small as a cell, and it just got so big in our minds because we held on to it forever and didn't deal with it. I mean, it did take me a long time to learn that when there was an issue in my life that involved another person, the resolving of it did not necessarily require the participation of the other person. In fact, the thing that I may have been hurt or upset about was probably more about me than them. They got their own stuff to deal with, and that is not my job. That is their job. And even now, that's making that whole issue come into a clearer focus for my own self and purposes. But it truly really comes down to everything that we feel like is happening to us. It's happening to us for a reason, so it's happening for us. But we're meant to get something out of it, like an understanding. And I think that's like the main thing that we're here to do with and for each other, is to gain understanding of an experience that we have all participated in to some degree. And yeah, I mean, once you go past a certain other Rubicon, and when I say you, I mean me, and I'm talking about like spiritual learning and understanding, yes, it makes total sense. Like, this thing happened and there were other participants, but my experience I have to deal with my own self. And again, it doesn't require, the resolution doesn't require the participation of the other participants, because you're the one having the feeling, you're the one being affected, so you have to affect your affectation. Okay, that's enough. Thank you and good night.